guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Eleftheria and I thought I would like to revision my knowledge on Photoshop, so why not take you with me? I'm going to do something like a beginner's tutorial in Photoshop CS6. So let's start with visiting the preferences. The hotkey is Ctrl-K for Windows. And here are the general preferences. Color picker, Adobe, and you have your windows also. And then color picker, I have huge stripes, small, but there are other options. And then it's very important to use the image interpolation as a bicubic automatic. And then in this options panel, I have ticked the dynamic color sliders, the resize image during place, animated zoom. Some people like also zoom resizes windows, and I'm using zoom with scroll wheel, but I know that that's not for everyone. Zoom click point to center, enter flick panning, vary round brush hardness based on H vertical movement, place or drag raster images as smart objects, snap vector tools and transform to pixels grid. You can also have a history log, and I think this is important when you're working with a client. For example, you want to have your history logged as clicked, and this is basically something like a TXT file, and you get to save all of your steps in order to create the project. But I'm not working for a client or something, so my history log will be unticked. Then let's go through the interface. Also, some people think that it's better to work with a dark theme, but for me, for the visual effect, it's this gray, dark gray. I think it works fine for me. But then you have also other options like a light gray and a very light gray. I think for my eyes, this medium gray is kind of perfect. Then I'm using the standard screen mode as the default, and again default here, full screen, black. And as for the borders, I have a drop shadow, and the full screen is again a drop shadow, and full screen I have none. Then for the options, my ticked options are auto show hidden panels, open documents as tabs, enable floating document window docking, show menu colors, show tooltips, enable text drop shadows. So transformation values, I have it in the top right. And then the UI language is in English, and the UI font size is in small. Again, if you have problem with your eyes or something similar, you can use medium or even large. For the file handling, image previews always save. File extension use lowercase, but you have your uppercase too. And then I have save in background and automatically save recovery information every 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes it's okay, but you can do it like 5 minutes or even more, like 15, 30 or 1 hour. For me, 10 minutes, I think it works just fine. And as for the file compatibility, I have preferred Adobe Camera Raw for supported RAW files. Then ask before saving layered TIFF files, and that's all for the compatibility. For the performance, I'm using this 60%, and I think this is the default. This has to do with your memory on your computer or Mac. So for me, this is kind of the default, but for you, maybe it's bigger, maybe it's smaller. Sorry for that. Here in scratch disks, you can read the information here. I think that for me this is okay, but again you can adjust it however you like. And then in history and cache, I have tall and thin, default, big and flat. The history states are 40, cast levels are 4, castile size 1 to 8K. Alright, and use graphics processor, I have it as ticked, and I think that you should also have it as ticked. Pretty much this is the default, and I don't have changed anything, and I haven't changed anything. As for the cursors, once again I have the normal brush tip, but maybe something like standard or precise or full size brush will work better for you. And as for other cursors, I have the standard, but you can also use the precise one. Now, as for transparency and gamut, I'm using the grid size as medium, and you have none, which I wouldn't recommend, small and large, but I'm using the medium. And for the grid colors, you have your very light that you can change to pretty much whatever you like. I'm using white, and if you also want to use white, you should have as RGB 255, 255 and 255. Alrighty. And then the units and rulers, I'm using centimeters, but also sometimes I'm changing this to pixels or inches or millimeters. And I don't use a lot of points or picas or percent. I think centimeters works fine for me. If you are from USA, you might prefer something like inches, I don't know, or pixels, but in Europe we mostly use centimeters. And as for the type, here I'm using points, and I wouldn't change that. The column size has a width of 180 as points, and the gutter is 12 as points. Now for the new document presented resolution, sometimes I also change this. Currently I have the print resolution to 300 pixels per inch, and the screen resolution is 72 pixels per inch, but again sometimes I will change these options depending on my project. And now point pica size, I think this is the default, I don't remember to have changed it. In guides, grid and slices, I have a color cayenne, style lines. For smart guides, I have a color magenta. In the grid, I have a color costume, style lines. Grid line every 2 centimeters. You can change this in whatever you like, or even change the grid line to what number suits best for you, but I think this is fine. And the subdivisions is in 4. Now in slices, I have a line color of light blue, and it can be changed to anything. The plugins, I don't think I have changed anything here. I think this is the default one. For the extensions panels, I have ticked both of these options. Then in type, I'm having ticked the 3 first options: use smart quotes, enable missing leaf protection, so font names in English, and choose text engine option is East Asian. In 3D, I haven't changed anything. I don't use 3D, so yes, I'm just going to close it, and I think that we are finally ready to start with our Photoshop tutorials for beginners in CS6. See you guys in the next video, and thank you very much for watching.